former mayor of Shiloh, Israel, is here to talk about the latest news coming out between the Israel, Hamas, and Hezbollah war and that's happening in Israel. And he's there in Jerusalem reporting on this. And then also some breaking news this morning that we just found out about it, and great news that a hostage, a father of 11, was discovered by IDF special forces, and they got him in Israel. He's being checked out at the hospital, met up with his family. I mean, gosh, what a great day for them. So it's going to be exciting to be talking with David. It always is. To get an update on what's happening with Israel, because when it all comes down to it, as we've said time and again, this, like it or not, I mean, the center of the universe is Israel. Okay. And where we are right now in this world with all the events and chaos that's going on, I've said repeatedly, and I've said this probably, I don't know, it just seems for decades, is that we have to keep our eye on Israel. What's happening with Israel will tell us what's happening with the world. And so keep an eye on Israel, because it'll be quite telling, because so often people are going to be, Bill, are we in the last days? And even Billy Graham said when he was asked that question, he said, actually, we're in the last of the last days. And so with that in mind, I think we need to have a different mindset, one of certainly preparation. And by preparation, I don't mean in the early stages. We got to move along because, as you can see, the signs are quite evident of where we are right now in the situation in terms of heading to the final chapter of the book of Revelations. Okay. Also, we got Jeff Kemp, my good friend, NFL QB, talking about fear versus faith. And then Alex Kendrick, yes, from the Kendrick brothers, their new movie, The Forge. Phew, what a great movie that's going to be coming out this weekend. You're going to enjoy this, especially if you have a young man in the house, a young man that needs to be discipled and what discipleship looks like. Very, very powerful movie. Again, they've done a great job. In fact, I think now for the fifth time, if you can believe it, this is unheard of. I mean, there would be five times. It was unheard of when it was four, even three. It's so unusual, but that the team itself have been able to acquire another A plus rating in the movie. That's how significant this is. The other thing I want to bring to mind here again that we should realize something we've known all along, but the nature of government and the bureaucracy as things move very slow. And I don't know if you've seen this, but I call your attention to it and you can check this out. So Mark Zuckerberg is now, in a sense, kind of offering a mea culpa. I don't know if he's got a conscience subtly or what, but he admits that the Biden administration pressured Meta to censor COVID-19 content. Well, no kidding. Like we didn't know. We knew that all along. The other thing was, I think it was lacking in this letter, was his alliance with the WHO. Still have a problem with that. Facebook, YouTube still continue to rely on the guidelines of the WHO, which when you look back, over this period of COVID, how many things let's just keep it in a positive way. How many things did the WHO get right? Okay, that's the first question. How many things did they get wrong? I think they got more wrong than right. And now they're going to be the arbiter. They are the standard of the guideline, and this is something that is controlling us. A social media platform like YouTube and Facebook, and they're going to rely on the standards of the WHO. And keep in mind, remember we reported earlier this year that there was a movement afoot to give the WHO all honor and glory in future pandemics. And so you can imagine everything would be a pandemic. And if you want an idea of what things would look like, we'll just think about what it looked like, during our COVID experience, where, they determined what were essential businesses. Churches weren't essential, but strip joints were, huh? Just bizarre. I mean, this is how nuts this is. But again, the thing to take away out of this is that this is all brought to you by the Biden-Harris administration. Okay, they are censors. Is this the kind of government that you want forward? I mean, they lied about this. They lied about the Hunter laptop, and they lied about suppressing speech. Well, it's all coming up. Stay with us right here.
If you're 65 or older and Medicare is your main source of insurance, pay close attention right now and listen for details on how you may save thousands of dollars on your healthcare costs. Did you know that Medicare can pay for things like dental visits, home delivery of drugs, even a gym membership? Call us right now and learn how to unlock all your Medicare benefits. Medicare and supplemental plans that we provide can even offer you drug coverage with zero copays and pay for transportation to your doctors. Medicare plans can offer you wonderful money-saving benefits, but you've got to call now. We'll help you get the most out of your Medicare. Make this free, no-obligation call now. Save a ton of money on your healthcare costs and get the code to unlock all your earned Medicare benefits. Paid for by Senior Choice Plans. 800-796-3954. 800-796-3954. That's 800-796-3954.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Bill Martinez Live, a program about current events, our culture, our values, our politics, and our future. And now, Bill Martinez.
We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going.
Well, good morning, America. 6 minutes after the top of the hour, we're on standby on our connection with David Rubin, the former mayor of Shiloh, Israel, also a prolific author. His latest book, if I can pull that up for you, and I may not be able to get it to you right immediately, hoping that he was going to be here to talk about it. But he has written many, many books, and you know, there's just so much wisdom and certainly experience as he reports directly from Israel. So we'll stay tuned for that. But as I mentioned in the opening, great news being reported this morning that one of the hostages has been freed. There's still over 100 hostages and some Americans you know, that are still involved in that in that group of hostages. But this was a father of 11. Can you imagine how excited his family must be to find out that he was liberated? And of course, this was by the very powerful IDF Special Services crew. I mean, this is a great team. I mean, you can liken them to some of the top rescue teams here in the United States that we're very proud of. But the IDF Special Forces went in and were able to, to discover him, and they found him in a tunnel, and he was just one by himself. So anyway, that's the situation there. But great news that we have one hostage there. The other thing of note that's coming out of the Middle East is that Iran is realizing, I think this is quite interesting. This is kind of a political, political show here in term or exposure anyway, that even Iran is doubting that Kamala Harris would be elected president. So what are they doing? They're moving quick to reconnect with with our government and trying to get the excuse me, trying to get in negotiations with our government about them going nuclear. Yeah, I mean, this is what's happening. I mean, this is quite the tell, as they would say, that even Iran is realizing how dubious it is and questionable that Kamala Harris could be elected president. So they figure, okay, well, our best chances are to negotiate with the Biden administration right now, especially in their position of weakness, right? So it only makes sense. So this is a move that is taking place right now as the Ayatollah wants to get together with the Biden administration and open up negotiations. So several things to take away here. Number one is that I don't think they have a high confidence that that Harris is going to be elected. And I don't think that, number two, that they want to negotiate with one Donald J. Trump, right? Because we know what happened before. Donald Trump had Iran on its heels. They were near bankrupt. And, it took the Biden administration sending money in the dark of night again, deja vu, a la, a la Barack Obama, right? Remember all those unmarked bills? Dr. Carol Swain was mentioning that yesterday, and I can't remember the exact number. It was had to be billions, I think, and billions of dollars that were sent, and it escapes me exactly right now, so forgive me. But it was a lot of money, a lot in unmarked bills. It's amazing. It's like what was this, like a mafia deal or something? I mean, bizarre. But this was what transpired in the dark of night, and it went to Iran. And so, what did that do? That healed up Iran. Suddenly, they had all this money, and is this goofier? I mean, really think about this. Okay, this is the Democratic Party. This is Joe Biden. I mean, you've got to put the whole gang together on this. You can't just say, it's crazy Joe. I mean, Kamala's, kept saying she's the last one in the room. So you got Kamala, you got the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, the whole crazy group of them sending money to Iran to fund, yes, terror activity. I know it doesn't make sense, but you tell me, what about the Biden administration, along with Kamala Harris, has made sense at all in the last 3.5 years, and even under Barack Obama? Barack Obama, who insisted that there was not a one scandal in his 8 years in his administration. Like, oh Lord, let me count all the scandals. What are you talking about? That you haven't had one scandal? So you see, this is the continuation of the modus operandi of the Democratic Party and Barack Obama, Democrat and Joe Biden in extension. And so, what do you think is going to happen going forward? Do you think there's going to be any deviation whatsoever? I mean, case in point, Bobby Kennedy Jr., he is the effect, and he's the effect of lawfare and all the discrimination that they put on him and the pressure to make sure that he got canceled. Okay. And he was censored from participating in what should have been a lawful campaign, a lawful campaign to run for president of the United States. And they canceled him. They cut him off at the knees, whether it was denying him security. I mean, this is Bobby Kennedy, who lost a father and an uncle to assassination. And Joe Biden goes, no, we're not going to give you secrets. Joe Biden, okay, this is the Democratic Party, waged lawfare against members of their own team. And the Kennedy family, some of them have made statements and up in arms about it, and which is, I question. I go, whoa, has the Kennedy family blue pilled themselves to this degree that they cannot even see for a moment? I mean, are they such staunch Democrats that they cannot see the discrepancy? They cannot see how far left, the party of their great grandfather and grandfather, and JFK, how far left it's gone. I mean, this is why Bobby Kennedy left, as he says, and many have said about the Democratic Party, once members said, I didn't leave, they left me. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard, and what are they talking about? I mean, it's just simple, basic things that you think that we could all be able to sit and talk about and talk with. But it's so difficult to have a conversation with those on the left because they're so hard left that you really can't reason with them because there's no reasoning with them. They are so ideologically fixed that it's their way or the highway. Well, that's not the way our Constitution works, and that's why they don't like the Constitution. It gets in the way. But unfortunately, here we are as thinking that we're a free country. And of course, on display, which was such a joke at the DNC convention. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but it was a convention. They lied at every turn. They misrepresented everything. And they wanted to, have us believe that they are they are the guardians of democracy. They are the constitutionalists. Really? How can you make that statement when you constantly violate the Constitution? The Supreme Court says, hey, you're not supposed to give tuition, forgiveness arbitrarily. That is not part of your venue. But oh no, 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 no. They just do it at will, and we're the subjects that have to put up with it. Well, stay with us. We've got more coming up right after this.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back. But you're gonna love it, and you're gonna love the price. Internet for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now. 800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. That's 800-699-0358. How clean is the water you're drinking and bathing in? If you call Aquasana Water today, they'll provide you with a free assessment telling you the condition of your tap water. Aquasana sells whole house water filters starting at $1,000. Isn't that worth it to have a 10-year supply of filtered, cleaner water? Aquasana water filters tackle chlorine taste and odor and can reduce contaminants like viruses, lead, forever chemicals, and microplastics, depending on the system you purchased. So make the free call, find out the condition of your water, and make your water cleaner the Aquasana way. It's a smart decision for you and your family and a must for a healthy home. Get a whole house Aquasana water system starting at $1,000 for your entire home. Call and find out the condition of your water with a free water assessment. 800-832-2045. 800-832-2045. 800-832-2045. That's 800-832-2045.
Hi, everyone. Michael Horn for GetTheTea.com. Summer heat getting to you? Go to GetTheTea.com and take advantage of their first ever semi-annual sale on all of their herbal cleansing teas. Buy two, get 1 month absolutely free. Get the Tea is available in natural, peppermint, pomegranate, and senna, the added strength cleansing tea. Go to GetTheTea.com. Enter the code MikeT and receive free shipping, too. GetTheTea.com is a family-based and owned company that has been in business over 15 years. They also carry unique supplements that you won't find in stores for your immune system, your glucose levels, and vitamins, too. GetTheTea.com. It's one of the best sales of the year, so don't wait. Buy two, get one free. Go to GetTheTea, T-E-A, GetTheTea.com. Enter the code MikeT for free shipping. GetTheTea.com. Mike T is your code. Go to GetTheTea.com.
We call ourselves ASAP Travel for one reason. We can help you book a ticket ASAP. For those of you that don't know, that means as soon as possible. That means no wait time. You get through right away. No searching online. Our specialty is the lowest available fares on the big-name airlines. You know them. We can't tell you their names. You can fly domestically or internationally and save more money than you could if you call the airlines directly. Our proprietary software goes underneath the hood of the major airline booking systems and finds you the best rates available. So if you're ready to make your travel plans right now, business or vacation travel, we have all the major airlines, always at great rates. Call ASAP Trips, and we'll have your ticket in your inbox in 15 minutes. Call this number now.
800-506-4885. 800-506-4885. 800-506-4885. That's 800-506-4885.
Hey, welcome back. 19 minutes after the top of the hour. Fresh and independent, just the way you like to hear from us. I'm Bill Martinez, and David Rubin from Israel, the former mayor of Shiloh, Israel, is with us right now. David, good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. Thank you, Bill. And it's good to
thank
be
you
with
for
you,
thank you
always.
for coming on the show. David, very quickly, because there's lots to cover here, but I was talking to the audience. I mean, look at you. You are a prolific author. And I want to up front give you an opportunity to, tell everybody about your latest book real quick.
Well, the most recent book was Confronting Radicals, What America Can Learn from Israel, which talks about the challenges facing the United States by that collusion between the radical Muslims and the radical left, which of course seems like a bizarre collusion. Like, why would they be working together to toward what goals? Because the radical Muslims want to change the United States into an Islamic civilization,
Right.
and to support groups, radical terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and ISIS. And the radical left wants to turn the world into turn the United States into some kind of communist Marxist country.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that the two would have nothing to work on together. But the fact is that they both want to bring down the United States as a
It's kind of like
Judeo-Christian
the enemy.
civilization.
It's like the enemy of my enemy, right? And for right now, for a season, they can join forces because they have the same objective, tearing down America. And meanwhile, and David, I mean, you grew up in America, and so you understand what's happening with the mindset here. I mean, it's been amazing how many Americans are just open, to this, and they continue to let their guard down and allow Marxists like Kamala Harris to have a place and think that we're still somehow supporting democracy.
Yes, but what is bizarre is that all of those leftists would be hung from trees if the Muslim radicals got control in the United States. But they're certainly working towards it because of their immediate goal of bringing down the United States and destroying it, and destroying whatever Judeo-Christian elements remain.
Right. They hate it so much that they're blind to seeing their own potential demise here, right, David? I mean, it's the same thing that's happening on college campus. You and I talked about it last time. These young kids have no idea, that here they are, championing the motto, from the river to the sea, and these are LGBTQ types and others that Muslims have no patience for, that will throw them off the top of buildings as soon as they get a moment, right?
That's right. That's right. And that's what's so bizarre about this whole thing. But the fact is that we still believe in democracy. We still believe in the United States as a great republic that traces its roots. And if people really care about roots, they should go back to the roots of the country and find out about hard work, and find out about standing with one's allies, and find out about the biblical roots of the United States, the biblical historical roots of the United States, and how its founders, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and all the others, on what they based the values of the great USA.
Exactly. David, I want to believe that there's more of us than them, even though as crazy it seems, and that a lot of, place and time and presence has been given to the radical left. The silent majority of years before, I want to believe, are wakening up, and they're prepared to take back this country and understand that it will not be easy. The left is not going to let go and surrender power and control. This is going to be, maybe in some form, a needed second revolution. What do you think?
Well, I prefer an evolution to a revolution, because so an evolutionary change is much more stable.
Right.
Now there may be a need for some sort of combination, because so much damage has been done.
Right.
But hopefully the upcoming election will be that sort of combination of revolution, which will bring evolution, a revolutionary victory for the Republicans, and that will bring some sort of stability and a restoration of values to the United States before it goes totally off the cliff.
Well, I would think and agree with you in part that evolution could take place, but if that's going to happen, the majority of the people have to be open to the truth. Their eyes have to be open. They've been lied for so long, lied to so long. They've been controlled and censored. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg just released a letter to tell us everything that we already knew 3.5, 4 years ago about how Joe Biden's administration manipulated information, how things were censored, and how much pressure they had put on these social media platforms to censor information that really endangered the community, which it galls me, David. I got to tell you, because so often, and I mean too often, and I'm so frustrated in dealing with these social media platforms, we've been put in YouTube jail and cast away, all in the name of endangering, endangering the community, right? Well, they're endangering the community by limiting speech and not giving the community the information they need to have to make informed medical and healthy and wise decisions. And look what it did.
That's absolutely true. And look, that's why I think that the decision by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. To join forces with President Trump, I think it's a bold move. He's going against his family tradition of going with the Democrats and just trying to work within the Democratic Party.
Right.
He went independent. He saw what fascists many of the Democrats are becoming and how they dealt with him and try to shut him down. So it seems like he's finding a way of working together with Donald Trump. I think it's a great thing, and hopefully it will bring new voters to the Trump campaign. I think it was a principled move because
yes.
he took a stand based on principles. He believes in certain things. He's not being allowed to voice his opinion. So truly, this is an election based on freedom. The freedom of speech that the Democrats are trying to shut down through radical leftists like Kamala Harris. Yes, she is a radical leftist. She also happens to be a very vapid person in terms of any content and that might be within her. And I'm sure that's going to show up in the debate when there is one, if there is one. But these radical leftists need to be stood up to, because if they're not stood up to, they're going to shut down everybody.
Yes. Well, David, as you mentioned in your most recent book about what the United States can learn, Israel taught the United States how to conduct preemptive action. Thank God, in this particular case, they did get some support from the United States to, to mitigate the threat that Hezbollah, kept, jumping up and down and throwing in the direction of Israel. And they had a very successful campaign this past weekend. We got about 35 seconds left, so I'm going to let you summarize it.
Well, I think it needs to be done a lot more than what was done in the past week. Israel needs to keep attacking until we win this war to the fullest extent possible. And I want to encourage people again to go to israelchildren.org and to stand with the children of Israel.
All the information there about the children and your books and your ministry is right there at the website. The website, real quick, David.
israelchildren.org.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-536-4436. That's 800-536-4436. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-536-4436.
Have you written a book, or do you have a manuscript ready and just need to find the right publisher? Christian Faith Publishing supports authors like yourself to bring their books to life. And right now we're offering you a free writer's guide designed to steer you towards book completion. Christian Faith Publishing evaluates each manuscript we receive. If your book earns approval, we take care of everything: editing, designing, printing, promotion, and widespread online and in-store distribution. Picture your book gracing the shelves of specialty Christian bookstores, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and numerous other retail destinations. It's time to get that manuscript published and to work with a publisher who shares your values of integrity and honesty. You can get your book published, get your manuscript reviewed, and a free writer's guide today.
800-439-1588. 800-439-1588. 800-439-1588. That's 800-439-1588.
We're back with you, America. Bill Martinez here. Great to have you with us, sharing a part of your day. For more information on the show, you can check it out, BillMartinezLive.com. He's a man of God, former NFL QB and ministry leader. My good friend Jeff Kemp joins us now. Hey, Jeff, good morning.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. You know, we were just talking that the condition of the culture is such that it is in chaos, and chaos is not of God. With chaos comes many thoughts and meanderings and concerns. Some may say that they may find themselves more fearful currently than ever before. What's going on?
The topic of fear is a very tangible, important one to deal with. For me, for you, all of us drift into fear at times. But if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, you do not have any reason to fear. And the scriptures make really clear. In 1 John, it says that perfect love casts out fear.
Mm-hmm.
And that the nature of love is God's presence is with you, God's power is with you, God's forgiveness has set you free from punishment. And he says, if you seek me and my kingdom, I'll take care of all the rest. Mm-hmm. And think of what God says in the Old Testament over and over: do not fear, do not fear, right. Do not fear, have courage, have courage. And Jesus comes and says, do not fear.
Right.
Do not fear. I've overcome the world. I know it's messed up, but I've overcome it. Mm-hmm. I'm with you in it. So I guess some of us maybe have never really received the complete, total salvation of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So fear's never gone away. And many of the rest of us are starting to forget that God is with us. Mm-hmm. God has overcome. He wins in the end. Justice will prevail. And no matter what we go through, cancer, lost job, difficult with our marriage or our kids, the economy, the culture, the elections.
Right.
God's sovereign, and he's always at work, and he'll overcome things.
Well, Jeff, fear is in conflict with faith, and faith is what pleases God. And obviously, as God has warned us in the Old Testament, Jesus again in the New Testament, that fear is counter what pleases God, then we need to really pause for a moment, have a Selah moment, maybe Selah weeks or months or whatever, because fear can become that stronghold that constantly trips us up and finds us being less favorable, toward God.
Yeah, but the Bible says that the righteous will live by faith. And the righteous is not the perfect. Christians aren't more perfect or automatically more moral than other people. We're not better than other people. We're forgiven. And our spiritual bank account is credited with the righteousness of Christ. So the righteous are those who have received God's forgiveness, the righteousness of Christ. The Bible says that God made Jesus the punishment for sin for those of us who never sinned, so that we could become and have the righteousness of God. So that's a great kind of litmus test for us today, or a canary in the coal mine, so to speak.
Yes.
If you've got fear, you are not living by faith.
Yeah. Well,
And if
and
you
you
don't,
bring
if
it.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, so just let's test. Is it faith in God and his control,
Mhm.
or is it fear that I need to control things and maybe God's not quite going to take care of things the way I need?
Well, fear is of man. Faith is of God. Righteousness is of God. If we're going to tap in to the righteousness of God, we must tap into the vine. And by tap in, I don't mean just tap in and tap out. It's a connectivity. Jesus said very clearly that you must be connected to the vine of life, and that is the power source of and evidence, I believe, of our righteousness. Is it not?
It is. I mean, I think you're talking about what Jesus said when he said, I'm the vine and you're like branches. And if you stay
Right.
connected to me, which,
Mhm.
it says abide. If you abide in me, if you
Mhm.
dwell in me, if you think about me, if you prioritize me, if your number one relationship and most important thing in life and your greatest satisfaction and joy is that I have a relationship with God through Jesus. And
Mhm.
so I keep him front of mind. That means that he will then bring fruit into your life. Love, joy, peace.
Yes.
Peace. That's the opposite of fear. Love,
Mhm.
joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. All of these things is God confidence versus self-confidence.
Exactly.
Usually leads to fear, right? We either pretend we're confident
Mhm.
or we panic and lose our confidence. Neither one of those are the same as God confidence because we've stayed plugged in to the relationship with Jesus. So I think what we're talking about today is let's remind all of ourselves, start the day by saying, God's in control.
Mhm.
I'm his son or daughter. I have the righteousness of God with me. He's such a good God that I can live by faith in him no matter what happens.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the righteousness of God is pretty basic. Jesus said very simply, those who believe in me, and that Jesus died for our sins, that he rose from the dead, that he sits at the right hand of the Father. I mean, this is where our righteousness comes, is we must first believe in Jesus and hold to it. Just like you said, Jeff, how are we going to order that day? Is our day going to be in alignment with God's will, his perfect will? So every aspect of our humanity, our spirit self, our physical self, our mental self, have to be aligned, and we lay it at the altar before God and say, God, bring it into alignment with your will and your purposes for this day and this moment. And that doesn't mean, Jeff Kemp, that we're going to be 100%. We're going to find those moments when we fall off, but at least we'll know how to course correct, right?
Yeah, I think you brought up in the last message you said that our righteousness is something not that we earn,
Right.
not that we perfectly perform. Our righteousness is received. And
Yes.
there's a humility to that. And there's a confidence because it's God's righteousness given to us. So we live from that righteousness in confidence that he's given it to us versus trying to strive and be religious
Right.
and be moral and do the right thing and not do the wrong thing. That's a formula for fear. Am I doing enough? Do I measure
Yes.
up for God? And we don't have the power because we're not receiving the righteousness of God. That's why I titled that book, Receive the Way of Jesus.
Mhm.
Jesus received everything from his Abba Father. And if he that already was God needed to receive from God, how much more do we, fallible, fallen human beings? So this is good news for people who are fearing today. God's in charge. He's given you the righteousness of Christ if you've received Jesus Christ. So stop forgetting and live in his love and let go of fear. Fear is a reminder that you're not trusting. Let's keep receiving our righteousness, receiving his confidence, and driving out fear, no matter what it is, health, circumstances, job, nation.
You know, Jeff, the other aspect I love about this is that talk about lifting a load, right? I mean, not that you'll ever be load free, but anytime you can lessen the load, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, Jesus said, my yoke is not heavy. Walk with me and I'll carry the weight. Jesus carries the weight for us. Give your burdens over to him, Philippians says. Don't be anxious and worry. Cast your concerns upon him and be thankful that he's got it under control. And then pray about everything and then leave it in his hands. That's what you're saying. Let go of the load. Give him your burden. That's the perfect love that drives out fear.
Exactly.
You got to dwell in the perfect love of Jesus and give him your burdens. We do not need to fear.
Yeah, fear is of the demonic. It's not of God. It's not one of God's gifts. And you can toss it back to Satan, just as Jesus would say, get behind me, Satan, and send that fear back to him and be thankful that for that moment, he reminded you, Satan did, that you need to reconnect with the vine. We got 25 seconds left, Jeff. Wrap it up.
Well, I would remind people at any point where you're anxious, worrying, or fearful, say the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Then say, thank you that Jesus, you've saved me. And thank you for the eternal security I have. That is where we gain our confidence and drive out fear. Perfect love. JeffKempTeam.com.
IBM and the United States Tennis Association are teaming up and using generative AI to deliver a more informative and engaging experience for platforms offer never-before-seen features, bringing fans even closer to the action inside Billie Jean King Tennis Center. New post-match summaries mean fans can access detailed analysis for all 254 U.S. Open singles matches, with long-form summaries for each match arriving within minutes of the last serve for near-instant coverage at unprecedented scale. An enhanced version of AI commentary and a redesigned Slam Tracker brings more frequent expressive and contextual commentary, with highlight packages published just minutes after a match concludes. Live matches will have a near real-time 3D graphic of current play alongside generative AI-produced insights. IBM Skills Build's new collaboration with the USTA Foundation provides students, coaches, and the public access to AI and professional development courses, workshops, and more. To see IBM technology in action, visit usopen.org or download the US Open app. Sponsored by IBM.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Okay, so you're seriously thinking about investing in gold and silver? And I don't blame you considering our current economic condition. So the question I get asked all the time is, Bill, who can I trust? Okay, you have to know we're constantly being approached by gold investment groups, but I wanted to make sure if I was going to recommend a gold investment group to my audience, that it was someone I could trust and recommend to my own family and friends. This is why I chose the Genesis Gold Group. Their customer service and knowledge is world class. You're going to find out and see for yourself when you call Genesis Gold Group at 844-202-4252. I only trust Genesis Gold Group, and I know you will too. They're committed to getting your money back on the gold standard. So call the Genesis Gold Group today, 844-202-4252. That's 844-202-4252, or check out the website, goldwithbill.com. We're back with the America. Bill Martinez here, 14 minutes before the top of the hour. It's always great to have you along with us, sharing a part of your day. For more info on the show, you can check it out, BillMartinezLive.com. You see his face right there. He looks also familiar. Alex Kendrick, who's dedicated his life to following Jesus Christ, making his truth and love known among the nations. After serving in church ministry for 20 years, he now writes, speaks, and produces Christian films with his brothers Stephen and Shannon. Alex directed and co-wrote the movies Overcomer, War Room, Courageous, Fireproof, Facing the Giants, Flywheel, Courageous, all great hits. And we're looking forward to his latest movie, The Forge. And that's what we're here to talk about. Alex, welcome to the show. Good to have you with us.
Thanks so much, Bill. Good to be with you again.
Well, 20 years in church ministry. And was this something in terms of making movies that was always waking you up at 3 o'clock in the morning, or just one morning you woke up and God said, hey, it's time to make movies?
Wanted to do it when I was growing up, but I wanted to do it Hollywood's way and then sprinkle Jesus on at the end. The Lord said that's not the way to do it. So he had to allow me to die to that. And then he resurrected that desire his way. And sometimes I think that's good that we die to our way, only for God to resurrect it for his way. And he's good at resurrecting things. So today I want to make movies, but only for his glory and not to try to impress the Hollywood critics. So we're very grateful for the response we're getting for The Forge already.
Right. Well, Alex, I think that where you were at that time was at a place where a lot of Christians, you know, especially those of us who were observing, you know, Christian movies, we believed and felt that it just wasn't representative of the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. You know, the quality wasn't there. So maybe what you were feeling was right observation, just wrong conclusion. And God just had to refine that in you, as he does in all of us, right?
He does. You know, that's a great way to put it. We do want to grow in excellence. Absolutely. Yeah. But at the same time, you want, you know, anything you do with the Lord, you want his hand on it. You want his fingerprints all over it, if I could say that, and you want him to be glorified. So I've learned making these movies, don't jump ahead of God, don't lag behind him, track with him. And when we've done that, he has borne fruit.
Well, Alex, you and your brothers have just done a great job in, you know, the way you've produced these movies, the writings. I mean, you know, you guys have just maintained a certain level of superiority and glory to God that is really special. And we all look forward, and we know with confidence when the Kendrick brothers' name is on a movie, it is going to represent the glory of God. And congratulations, by the way.
Well, thank you. The Forge comes out, you know, obviously this weekend, and we hope that it ministers to a lot of people. We hope that churches especially are stirred up to give a greater focus on discipleship, not just conversion, but discipleship. And we need a generation of believers that are following Jesus Christ, not that just believe in him, but follow him with their life. And I think that's what's going to draw others to faith.
Why The Forge?
The Forge, well, the Forge, when you're forging, whether it's a sword, a knife, a piece of equipment, that comes through heat and pressure. And when you walk with the Lord, and of course, there's spiritual attack as well from the enemy. But when you walk with the Lord, a lot of times you feel like you're growing because of that heat and pressure. Unfortunately, we grow a lot because of trials and crisis and things like that. And I wish we could say we grow in the comforting times, but that is less the case. But so a forge in faith is when you are in a discipleship group, you are held accountable, you are learning to die and deny yourself and take up your cross daily and follow Jesus. And so in the movie, we see a group of men that are holding each other accountable in love, but they're pouring into a younger group of men, and we all need that. And you see the trials and the hurdles they face. And we especially track one young man named Isaiah. He's 19 years old, and he's got a lot of hardships in his life, but we see how when men pour into him and help hold him accountable, he grows exponentially in his maturity in the faith. And by the end of the film, you're going to have tears in your eyes, but hopefully people will say, I need that in my own walk with Christ.
Yeah, I was going to say, often in church we talk about discipleship, but this movie demonstrates the practical application of discipleships. And like you, I believe that people who watch this movie at the end of it will say, hey, I need to step up my game. I need to take God seriously and do something about this, because I know for us, Alex, at one period of time, this was right about when Promise Keepers broke out. We had a special group that was like this. And to this day, we still talk about it. This was in Southern California. It had such an impact on us. And since then, I have been trying to, do the same thing here in Florida. And so this movie has encouraged me, and I know it'll encourage others to, practically walk out what discipleship is all about.
That's exactly right. And, we need pastors in the pulpit speaking to the congregations. Of course, Jesus spoke to the masses, but also Jesus had his 12 that he intimately poured into. They could ask him questions, share struggles. He could, correct them. He could encourage them, walk with them. And those are aspects where we grow even deeper with the Lord. And so that's what we need to focus on, the discipleship aspects of church ministry, as well as sermons from the pulpit. But all of us need to be sharpening one another, and as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And we need that both with older women pouring into younger women, and then seasoned Christians pouring into the next generation.
Yeah, I know. I remember one time with a group that I was with, and I told them I was inspired, and it was a Holy Spirit moment. Obviously, it wasn't me. I'm not that good. But the Holy Spirit had laid on me, and I just kind of blurted out, guys, we got to go and find our 12. Each individual here has to go find their 12, to mentor and to disciple, right?
That's exactly right. And we don't want to do it by addition. We want to do it by multiplication. As Jesus did, he poured into 12, then each of them began pouring into other bodies of Christ and pouring into other people. And as even Paul said about Timothy, follow me as I follow Christ. No one feels perfectly adequate to do that. So don't think if you're watching this interview that, I am qualified to do that. You can take what you know at this point and pour into someone younger. And as we say in the movie, whoever wants the next generation the most is going to get them. The world wants them. The world's going after the young people's, and especially college years, their heart, their mind, their perspective, their morals, and the church has to go after them with purpose with this message of Christ.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, is that somebody's going to get them, Alex.
Right.
Why don't we bring them into the kingdom? What kind of personal experiences or real life stories of discipleship did you bring into this movie?
Oh my goodness. I was poured into by a coach when I was in my college years, though I had a godly father, and he through his lifestyle discipled me to a degree. I had men that loved the Lord, and none of them were perfect, of course, but I had men that poured into me, encouraged me to apply scripture, memorize scripture, be able to share it, defend it, and live by it into my life. And that made my faith go so much deeper. And it was hard. There are aspects of discipleship that were very hard, but that was good for me. And that's what needs to be happening today more than ever. We have to go back to being salt and light to this generation.
Exactly. Well, you've been able to assemble again a world-class cast here, Alex. I mean, we got Priscilla twice, right?
Yes. Yeah, she's Priscilla plays twin sisters, and she's so good at it. She loves the Lord, and people are going to really appreciate what she does in this film.
Well, my wife and we kept doing a second take. Well, is that Priscilla or not? I mean, you made her up in such a way to where it was kind of maybe, and it left you thinking, so after it was over, then my wife, see, I told you it was. And I said, well, here we go. So a little bit of a little bit of advance notice there. So that way the audience, when they see the movie, they're not wondering and spending too much time thinking about, is it the real Priscilla or Priscilla 2.0 or whoever it is. So yeah, she's there, but also some regulars that you've had, and of course this time you had the Arnett family, right?
Yes, and they're married. They're married in the movie as well. Cameron and BJ Arnett do a wonderful job. Cameron especially plays the older gentleman that disciples young Isaiah. And in real life, he believes in discipleship passionately. And so I'm so grateful for Cameron Arnett, his heart for ministry, and he does a great job on screen.
And we love Miss Clara. She's back.
Yes, Miss Clara, man. It's funny that you say that, because in our pre-screenings, whenever she would come on the screen, the audience starts clapping. Yes. And I'm thinking, wow. So Miss Clara challenges the audience, and she's funny as well. People are going to love her scenes. Karen Abercrombie plays Miss Clara. She's someone that in real life, we all need a Miss Clara in our lives.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, just that, let's go back to the war room, just that cry out to God, that prayer that she emanated. We used that on our radio show as a soundbite for a long time because the people were so inspired. It is so moving. I mean, no doubt. I mean, she is a special follower of Jesus. And again, it comes out, and that was an enjoyable part of the movie. How about for you, Alex, and looking back, what favorite scenes did you have from the movie?
Oh my goodness, I have about 5 or 6, but I'll share one of them that grabs the heart of the audience, and men especially want to stand up. We have a scene in the movie, I'll call it the sword scene. It's when these 7 older men are pouring into the younger men, and they call Isaiah out to step in the middle of the group. They hand him a sword, 10-pound sword, and they ask him to hold it out straight. And as they do, the leader, Joshua, the leader of this group, starts talking to all the men and the younger men about how men often want to stand on their own, which can be a good thing. But after a while, the burdens, the weight of what they're doing is so heavy, and we need others in the body of Christ around us. They do something with that sword that is so inspirational. And when men are walking out of the theater, a lot of the men so far are like, I got to go get a sword to remind me of this scene. And I can't wait for audiences to see this scene. It's just so stirring and it's inspirational. I think it's going to touch a lot of people.
30 seconds left here, Alex Kendrick. Where can people go for more information? I mean, because there's a lot of, a lot of things that are related to the Forge that are available, resources at the website as well, right?
We have discipleship materials, a book called Devoted to Jesus. We have curriculum. You can go to theforgemovie.com and find theaters where it's screening, as well as the resources we have available, theforgemovie.com. I can't wait to see what the Lord does with this film.
Well, without a doubt. Alex Kendrick, thank you so much for being with us. God bless.
You too. God bless. Thanks so much.
Us over the internet. We ignited the new media revolution, offering a powerful platform for vital voices and alternative perspectives that mainstream media often silences. Our live broadcasts stream on over 200 of the world's largest internet broadcast stations, with on-demand syndication across all major social networks. Visionary entrepreneurs Douglas and Donald Newsom have crafted over 100,000 radio and web TV episodes for more than 1,000 satisfied clients. Experience the pinnacle of web radio and TV engineering. Compare our unbeatable prices, exceptional services, and comprehensive offerings with any other professional provider, and you'll see why we're unparalleled in the industry. Call us at 888-710-8061.
Are you looking for the cheapest prices on car insurance? Then call the Cheap Car Insurance Hotline right now. Hey, you're guaranteed to save money on your car insurance. Most car insurances can be canceled at any time. That means if you find a better deal, you can switch right away. We're not just one company. We offer most of the major brands of car insurance. We're like a discount supermarket for car insurance. And it doesn't matter if you have a good record or a bad driving record. Our agents are experts experts at finding you the right car insurance for your needs. Our average customer saves hundreds of dollars a year when they call us to switch. So why don't you make this 100% free call right now and see how much you can save on your car insurance?
800-507-6553. 800-507-6553. 800-507-6553. That's 800-507-6553.
BBS Radio TV. If it's not mainstream, it's on BBS Radio TV. A place for answers.
Well, good morning, America. Good to have you with us. Coming up this second hour. Oh, I'm telling you. Another great hour designed just for you to enlighten you about the Biden-Harris and now, of course, the Harris-Walz policies that are going to impact us because, the fact is that even though Vice President Harris is claiming to have changed her position, she hasn't said it herself. This is all being said by other people, I guess, to give her some covering. And of course, some of the other people that are involved here include the mainstream media who are interpreting it. I don't know if you had a chance to see that Jonathan Karl interview with the senator. That was just unbelievable how he was running defense for the vice president. And, the senator was brilliant in responding and just saying, hey, look, this is her position. And, we're not, this isn't our interpretation. These are from her words in exact verbatim of what she stated when she ran for president in 2019. So all these things, as the mainstream media is doing everything they can to be her publicity arm and refashion her to make her into some sort of centrist is just ludicrous, because we know what happened. I mean, the same thing, we fell victim with that idea with Barack Obama, and he was nothing but a centrist. In fact, where we are right now, in great measure, is because of the trajectory that he put this country on. And we had 8 years of that, if you remember, and it wasn't a bunch of joy, and there wasn't a hope and change. There was change for the bad, not for good, and really turned us into a hopeless society. Thank you very much. And of course, a little bit of break with Donald Trump for 4 years. And I guess America, which astounds me still, and this is what makes, what happened in 2020 such a mystery, is that, as if America just said, hey, look, I'm tired of winning. We're losers. We need to lose again because we're just so undeserving. So being energy independent and having jobs, secure jobs, not a bunch of jobs, gig jobs that were created under the Obama Biden administration, if you recall, and also was creating a black market, underground market where people were working tax-free under the table, if you recall. Maybe you don't, but and I'm sorry to help you remember some of the shared misery that we all endured during the 8 years of Barack Obama. And of course, we're experiencing more of the same under not a total 4 years, but 3.5 and counting under the Biden-Harris administration. So realistically, and honestly, do you think that Kamala Harris has it within her capacity to alter course so dramatically where she is and how she's being pulled from the hard left? She is left of Bernie Sanders. I think there would be more hope to pull Bernie Sanders to the center, and there would be a less of a challenge to pull Bernie Sanders to the center than it would be for Kamala Harris. But, you got to be honest with yourself. If she's not going to be honest with it, at least you need to be honest with yourself. Anyway, Steve Gorham is here talking about the new epidemic of lithium battery fires. And Craig Rucker, who will be talking about the Biden-Harris admin, is warning kindergartners that climate change is going to leave the entire U.S. cities underwater. I just don't understand this proposed administration. Biden-Harris or even Harris-Walz in, scaring kids. All of a sudden, we're going to channel the hysteria that we went through. We thought, okay, well, maybe it's done. Maybe we can set that aside. But nope, it's back, and it's back with a vengeance. Also, the other thing you need to be aware of, I don't know if you saw this, but California the state that I was born and raised in, a state that has 4 of my children still living in it and grandkids, close to approving a $150,000 loan. And these are loans, plural, for illegal immigrants to help purchase homes. Now, these are people that have no skin in the game. They didn't put any money in. So the taxpayers of California forget about you and your needs. Governor Newsom and the Uniparty there in California has deemed it essential that illegal immigrants should receive up to $150,000 under the California Dream for All plan. Of course, get ready. You're going to hear more about that. Stay with us.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
800-908-5092. 800-908-5092. 800-908-5092. That's 800-908-5092.
Getting America back on track. Bill Martinez live.
Six minutes after the top of the hour. Good to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Martinez. For more information on the show, you can check it out, BillMartinezLive.com. We're connecting with Steve Gorham here in just a moment, dealing with a little bit of minor technical issues. But hey, look at, it's okay. We can make this work. As we continue to do this, I'm trying to get him on and get connected here. So, all right. So I think we've got audio. Do we have audio on him? No, we don't even have audio. Okay, here he is. But we need to unmute your microphone there, Mr. Steve. You can? Okay, good. We're in good shape. As I mentioned, Steve Gorham, who is a speaker, author, and researcher on environmental issues, energy, and public policy, joins us now. Steve, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Sorry to be late.
Oh, no, it's okay. Hey, we got it covered. Lots to catch up on here in these next two segments together. And one of the things that you wrote about is, you asked the question, is there a new epidemic of lithium battery fires? Explain to our audience what's going on.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, every single day we have lithium battery fires that are going on, exploding around the world. We just had one in Normal, Illinois. The Rivian plant that produces electric trucks just had a fire in their parking lot. It burned up 50 or 60 trucks.
Wow.
I mean, these things are just going on all over the place. And
were those electric trucks or they
were
electric trucks? Oh, wow.
They were electric trucks. They don't know what started them, but these batteries tend to self-ignite, and when they do, they burn up the trucks that are around them. They kind of explode. So, I mean, I'm just writing an article on this for publication, and I just can't keep up with all the disasters that are going on with electric batteries around the world. We just had a battery plant fire in South Korea a month ago that killed 16 people, and many of those were from fumes from the batteries. We had 2 battery fires in Scotland. These were both at recycling plants just in the last 4 months. One was in Glasgow, one was at another location. And it takes, when these things go up, they have to call 10 fire departments, get 40 or 50 firefighters there. And try and put these things out, and then they tell the local people, you're restricted, you can't go out of your home, or you close your windows. And I mean, it's just a mess of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I think Tim Waltz's wife would lower down her windows because she liked the smell of, burning batteries. Just kidding. But seriously, though, what is going on? Is this a manufacturing issue, or is it just the natural course and what we can expect in dealing with batteries as they age?
Yeah, those are some of the cases. Now, the small ones we've had for quite a few years. So lithium batteries started being used during the 1990s in cell phones. But they're very small, relatively. And if you go to an airport, they still ask if you have lithium batteries in your baggage.
Right.
They don't want certain ones there. But then we said, okay, well, let's put them in electric cars. So what's in cars are about 10,000 times the size of your cell phone battery. And so you have an awful lot of energy there. And when they go up, you have a bunch of problems. An example is a guy had a Tesla in Elk Grove near Chicago last year. He was driving on the expressway. His vehicle started to shake. He pulled over and got out, and the thing exploded.
Oh, wow.
In flames. He didn't have time to get the child seats out of the back seat. He was really pleased his kids weren't with him on the trip.
Well, thank God. Yeah, you think? Yeah, exactly.
And we've had a bunch of car manufacturers that have recalls all over the world, many different companies. Matter of fact, I don't know if the signs are still posted on the West Coast, but in parking lots for a while, they had, and I'm quoting a sign, Chevrolet Bolt EVs are strictly prohibited from parking at this facility. Thank you for your compliance.
Wow.
Those were in the days when they were recalling Chevy Bolts because they were flaming. But this is just crazy stuff that's going on, and it's being pushed by governments to use more and more of these lithium batteries.
Exactly. And let's use taxpayer money to subsidize the program, so we have more explosions, I guess. But Steve, talking about lithium, I mean, we've heard about lithium battery problems in computers, and as you said, cell phones, airline were, again, putting notices out there. But I wonder if people even realize if they have a lithium battery in their computer or their cell phone.
Well, I'm not sure they do. And then we have
well, but how do we know that, Steve? How do we know if in fact our device is a lithium battery?
Just about all of them are lithium of one type or another now, because they provide a lot of energy. And so you have them in your computers. But I think they're pretty tried and true in computers. So another area though that they're just we're just learning about is electric bikes, e-bikes.
Yes, right, exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll ask an audience when I speak to them, what's the biggest source of fires in New York City? And it's not cooking, it's not smoking anymore. It's e-bikes.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. They've taken off. Last year, they had 216 electric bike fires, and they put these things in, they ride them, and then they put them in the storage room, go upstairs in their building, and these things self-ignite and catch fire.
Unbelievable.
There's a couple problems. One is that some of the e-bikes are very low cost, and maybe they're not the highest quality. But then even if you have if you have an expensive, high-quality e-bike, if the battery's damaged in any way when you're traveling, or even if you hook it to a charger, which isn't very good, those things can go up as well. But this isn't only New York City. Toronto's having terrific fires. Vancouver, all across Australia, they're having e-bike fires as well. So my wife and I have we spent part-time in Virginia Beach, and we have a condo down there, and we've told our leasing agent, we don't want anybody in there with electric bikes. Just tell them, don't keep them anywhere near the building.
Are they responding to that positively in terms of, doing that? Because I imagine, this evidence is coming out that these things are dangerous, and somebody's got to take a stand on this. I mean, otherwise, I guess if you've warned the management company of this notice, then doesn't that increase the liability for them?
Well, it might. We have a real good manager, so I just hope nothing happens.
I understand that. I mean, we can have good managers, but doggone it, we got crazy human beings that just, I bought the bike and I don't care. I'm still going to go ahead and do this. And okay, well then the liability's on you then, right?
So here's the big thing though. Governments are doubling down because of the fear of man-made global warming. And the latest thing is they are putting in grid scale batteries, huge things, particularly in New York and California and some other places where they want to go 100% renewable, and they want to back up wind and solar with these batteries. Maybe we ought to talk about this in the next segment here.
Yeah, because we're getting ready to go to break right now. Steve Gorham is with us, a speaker, author, and researcher on environmental issues, energy, and public policy. So stay with us. It's all coming up in the next segment right here.
If you're 65 or older and Medicare is your main source of insurance, pay close attention right now and listen for details on how you may save thousands of dollars on your health care costs. Did you know that Medicare can pay for things like dental visits, home delivery of drugs, even a gym membership? Call us right now and learn how to unlock all your Medicare benefits. Medicare and supplemental plans that we provide can even offer you drug coverage with zero copays and pay for transportation to your doctors. Medicare plans can offer you wonderful money-saving benefits, but you've got to call now. We'll help you get the most out of your Medicare. Make this free, no-obligation call now. Save a ton of money on your health care costs and get the code to unlock all your earned Medicare benefits. Paid for by Senior Choice Plans. 800-796-3954. 800-796-3954. That's 800-796-3954.
Timeshare owners, listen to this. You know it's coming. Your timeshare maintenance fee bill. At RFA Cancellations, we've seen timeshare maintenance fees rising every year. And I bet you have too. Most of our clients that we help get rid of their timeshares don't have that kind of free money laying around. If you don't either, call us. When you hire our experts, we'll do all the work for you to help you get out of your timeshare with zero money down with approved credit. If you haven't used your timeshare this past year and you want to legal way to get out of it, we can help you get out of your timeshare contract right now and stop paying all the maintenance fees. Plus, put more money back in your pocket every month. Your timeshare is not free, but this call is. Call us right now before time runs out.
800-245-1365. 800-245-1365. 800-245-1365. That's 800-245-1365.
Are you looking for a natural health solution to improve your mind and body? Greska's Carbon 60 is an all-natural oral dietary supplement that supports your body's optimal health and performance. Studies show that Carbon 60 helps eliminate inflammation, often the root of your health issues. One carbon-rich serving provides your body with a powerful antioxidant to help remove toxins and free radicals. Carbon 60 helps protect your cells from damage and promotes cellular regeneration. Experience the power of Greska's Carbon 60 and say goodbye to pain, inflammation, and fatigue. Call anytime at 720-600-6040, 720-600-6040, or visit c-60.com. That's c-60.com. Greska's Carbon 60. Go to c-60.com.
This is Don Shank with today's global update from the Tide Ministry, sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ worldwide in the languages people were born to speak. There are still millions of people who are longing for the peace that only Christ can give, and we're determined to share His love in any way we can. The Tide third annual Race to Share the Gospel invites participants to run, walk, bike, hike, or even swim 13 miles in 16 days to make an eternal impact on the lives of millions around the world. The race will kick off on Saturday, April 27th and end on Sunday, May 12th. This year, the Tide Ministry aims to raise $15,000 to directly enable new outreach in the Balkan region of Eastern Europe. Holding this virtual race gives fellow believers the opportunity to tangibly participate in what God is doing worldwide. To learn more about the Tide Race to Share the Gospel and how you can participate regardless of where you live, visit thetide.org. That's thetide.org.
Hey, back with you 19 minutes after the top of the hour, fresh and independent, just the way you like to hear from us, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 Eastern, and that would make it 6 to 8 Pacific time. Steve Gorham, the speaker, author, researcher on environmental issues, energy, and public policy. He's warning in his coming renewable energy failure in his new book, warning of the renewable energy failure in his new book, Green Breakdown. And of course, what we're talking about right now, this epidemic of lithium battery fires have been taking place. Steve, how bad does it have to get before the government does something about it? Or are they just so vested, and this is all part of this, this green movement and the green agenda that, their ideology won't allow them to see the danger?
Yeah, well, that is the case. It's like other aspects of the fear of man-made global warming. Governments are doubling down on this.
Mm-hmm.
We now have 22 states that have zero emissions vehicle mandates by the year 2035. They want to force all car sales in their states to be electrics and get away from gasoline. And then we have 23 states that have zero electricity targets by 2050. And so before the break, what I was talking about is governments are now, they realize they have a weakness with wind and solar, the intermittency. You have to back them up if you want the reliable power. And so they're saying, okay, well, let's put big batteries out there so that when wind and solar are delivering output, we store a bunch of it in the battery. And then when there's not much wind or sun, then we release it from the battery. Sounds great. Again, the problem with these grid scale batteries is they are hundreds of times bigger than what's in a car battery.
Wow.
And we already, so I'll give you some recent examples. They just had a fire on Interstate 15 near Baker, California. A truck was transporting one of these grid scale batteries, which is huge. It looks like a shipping container, 20 feet long. It weighed 75,000 pounds. It started to burn. They still don't know the cause, but so the truck stopped, and then they had to dispatch fire teams. This was in the middle of the desert, and the Interstate 15 was blocked for 44 hours. They had people on the highway, no way to get out of there. They were bringing water into them. They were bringing, people were running their cars and running out of gas, trying to run the air conditioners.
Right.
And so they were bringing in fuel. They had to transport people away. Just a crazy situation that you've never heard of. And then we just had a battery fire near San Diego, California, in one of these grid scale systems. This just happened a month ago. This was the Gateway Energy Storage Project near San Diego. It caught on fire, and they brought the fire team, and they put it out after a day, but then it reignited 6 more times over the next 6 days. Wow. It just started. And so they were telling people to evacuate, and then they were telling them to stay in their house, and then they were canceling the restrictions, and then they had to reimpose them. But it just destroyed this whole system. And now the city of San Diego has said that, well, they're going to build another one of these. And they said, well, wait a minute, we got to put a hold on this activity. But it's just crazy. This is and without these batteries, wind and solar just can't do it. And so it's going to be a bigger and bigger problem.
Sure. And the other thing they're realizing there in San Diego, my son's down in that area, and he was telling me, Steve, that these solar panels, these farms, in essence, they're solar panel farms, and the amount of birds that they're killing, that the birds are getting disoriented going across these farms and getting cooked alive there. This is crazy.
Well, some of them, particularly the one that concentrate power on towers.
Yes,
they do. You do have smoking birds at the end of some of those, but just kind of a crazy thing. There's another area too. Our vice president and presidential candidate Kamala Harris has done a number of interviews in locations where she is pitching electric buses. And she thinks, boy, these things are really terrific. And I'm going, I've been collecting videos about bus fires all around the world. And I show these when I present to groups in England and Paris and China. There's one in China where this bus is flaming and people are jumping off of this bus trying to get away.
Yeah.
If you have a diesel bus, and we've had many, many instances where a driver gets out with a fire extinguisher and puts out an engine that's burning. You can't do that with an electric bus. The thing just explodes. I mean, there's no way to control it. But, Lord God forbid that we have fire with kids on these buses, but, they're putting these into school districts, and this is just going to be a bad situation, I'm afraid.
Can you imagine, Steve, the shrapnel that would go all over the place? I mean, where do you go to hide?
Well, it's just not a situation where we're pushing these electric things way too much. By the way, these things are very expensive. They cost more than twice as much as a propane bus or a diesel bus. And again, just a poor policy.
Well, on top of that, Steve, as you mentioned, the weight of the batteries is such is that this is going to tear up our roads. I mean, what happened to the environmental studies that, our governments, particularly in California, that they're so fond of talking about? I mean, they just threw all that out the door.
Yeah, the average electric vehicle is about 50% heavier than a traditional vehicle. If you take a pickup truck, for example, so they should be paying more road taxes. The other thing is California has come up with this advanced clean fleets regulation saying that all new trucks have to be zero emissions, which means electrics. And the truckers have computed that if you put in all these electrics with the charging problems you have, we'd have to put twice as many trucks on the road to carry the freight that we do today. How is that environmentally friendly? Let's put twice as many trucks out there.
Well, and you don't even have the infrastructure, the charging stations available for them. I mean, what did we spend? Congress allotted something like $8 billion, for the charging stations, and all they managed. I mean, this speaks to the incompetency of this administration. All they built out was like 8 of them, and I think at last report, only 5 of the 8 are actually working. I mean, talk about a return on investment. I mean, that's just terrible, Steve.
Yeah, the big secret out there is nobody can break even on electric chargers. All these companies that came out, went public, and now they're at like 1/10 of their price. Everybody's losing money on them. They're only getting these subsidies and government handouts. That's the only reason they're out there. It's just not a money-making deal. Most people want to charge at home. But yet you have to have these public chargers, and so the volume at the chargers is low, and they can't break even.
Right, exactly. Well, and the thing is, that's happening is that car dealers, auto dealers, are being stuck with these electrical vehicles, and they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, that's true. The price of EVs, used EVs, is down 30% in a single year in the United States. And for example, Hertz Rental. They bought about 60,000 of them. They're sending them all back. They're trying to sell them now. And so the price of EVs, used EVs, has gotten to be very low. People don't want them. It's a big issue.
Well, this whole situation, tied into the green energy, it's like Don Quixote chasing windmills here. I mean, this is so anti-American, so anti-capitalism, Steve. I mean, this isn't the way to make a transition. If you really did the proper study and said, okay, this is going to, take 5-10 years down the road, and this is going to be the grief to happiness ratio that will hit, but there will be happiness at the other end of the rainbow here. But nobody's seeing any kind of joy out of this whole deal, are they?
Well, there are, if you want to get a second car that's a cool Tesla, that's kind of neat. If you're driving short distance to work, it may be okay. It can be very inexpensive to charge at home. But the idea that governments have to force everybody to adopt electric vehicles to stop the oceans from rising, that's just crazy. It's not going to happen, A. And B, people should be able to buy electric vehicles if they think it's a good deal and not be forced on cars and trucks. That's not the way to do it.
Well, how is the government doing with that metric of oceans rising?
Well, oceans have been rising 7 or 8 inches a century. And they've been doing it for about 20,000 years. There's no indication that we can change light bulbs or put up wind turbines and stop the ocean rise.
So not one household changing a light bulb has reduced a ocean from rising, 1 micro inch, right?
Well, that's true. The whole state of California, everything they're doing, there's no indication that's going to affect sea levels.
Unbelievable. Got to leave it there. Steve Gorham, thank you so much for coming on with us. The website that people can go to be in touch with you.
Yeah, Steve Gorham, GOREHAM.com. They can get my book, Green Breakdown, and my other 3 books. They're great reads.
IBM and the United States Tennis Association are teaming up and using generative AI to deliver a more informative and engaging experience for tennis fans around the world. Thanks to IBM's Watson X and Granite large language models, the 2024 U.S. Open digital platforms offer never-before-seen features, bringing fans even closer to the action inside Billie Jean King Tennis Center. New post-match summaries mean fans can access detailed analysis for all 254 U.S. Open singles matches, with long-form summaries for each match arriving within minutes of the last serve for near-instant coverage at unprecedented scale. An enhanced version of AI commentary and a redesigned Slam Tracker brings more frequent expressive and contextual commentary, with highlight packages published just minutes after a match concludes. Live matches will have a near real-time 3D graphic of current play alongside generative AI-produced insights. IBM Skills Build's new collaboration with the USTA Foundation provides students, coaches, and the public access to AI and professional development courses, workshops, and more. To see IBM technology in action, visit usopen.org or download the US Open app. Sponsored by IBM.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-536-4436. That's 800-536-4436. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-536-4436.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back. But you're gonna love it, and you're gonna love the price. Internet for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now. 800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. That's 800-699-0358.
Hey, we're back with you. Glad you could join us 28 minutes before the top of the hour. Bill Martinez here. For more information on the show, BillMartinezLive.com. That's where you want to go. Coming up next is going to be Craig Rucker. We're going to talk more about the environment, more about this green energy, and the policies that I know. Look at quit getting so frustrated, about Kamala Harris. Obviously, this is all being done on purpose. It is a planned strategy that they're doing, not answering anything about her policies. I mean, on her website, something like a no-brainer, right? You should have, her policies should be listed right there. But she's not about to do that for obvious reasons. I mean, it's the same format and model that worked very effectively for one Joe Biden, right? So why should they do anything different? We'll just keep everybody in the dark, so to speak. And as they say, we'll feed them with manure, and that's it. We're all mushrooms here, ladies and gentlemen. This is such an insult that you would have somebody, that would, be running for an office like the president of the United States and insist that, maybe you're just not smart enough. And she just doesn't trust you to understand her policies. But look at, we're not stupid. She's been around for a long time, ran for president in 2019, failed miserably. Didn't even get one vote, didn't even get one, electoral vote. And all of a sudden now she's been manufactured and redesigned by the mainstream media. But, just something is so wrong about this whole situation that the mainstream media would be able to interfere with an election like this. I mean, this is, to me, it's a constitutional issue. It's that, this is not what the mainstream media is here to do. I mean, they've really abandoned, and you've heard me address this, for the last several years, that they've abandoned their reason to exist. I mean, their reason to exist is to hold the government accountable and to give us some objective perspective. But unfortunately, the mainstream media has abandoned their mission. And here we are. They've become the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. And because it's key, so important for them, to go to those Washington D.C. cocktail parties and to be part of the in crowd, and all the self-appointed intelligentsia, the elites of our country. Really, wow. I mean, what geniuses? What have they done to advance the cause of democracy? What have they done to improve things? And I guess that's the question. Has the mainstream media been a plus or a minus? In my humble opinion, they've been a big negative, for we the people, because they've really abandoned their mission, and at a cost to themselves, because they're losing, subscribers, losing followers, and rightfully so. They've really rendered themselves moot and irrelevant. And if they continue on this trajectory, I mean, forget it. I'd wondered what was going to happen with the media resources and our ability to get information out there when there was this consolidation issue that happened with radio stations. Years ago, when I was starting in the broadcast industry, every market had just about 100 different owners of radio stations. Now it's, a handful, maybe a little bit more, maybe 6 or 7 that control, especially in these major markets, that control the radio stations. So what you have is you have the same personalities, because it's so expensive to run these radio stations, because when they consolidated, they paid an incredible amount of money for these licenses. And for the old owners of radio stations, hey, they had a windfall profit, and they're out in their ranch and kicking back and living large. And meanwhile, the local communities are the ones that are suffering because their local stations are not there, and the local communities are being misrepresented. They're being represented based on major markets instead of their own local communities. But my question was at the time was that there was going to be a reduction and availability of talent, because these smaller markets and these owners were the kind of the farm teams, and they were the ones that developed the talent that went on to bigger markets. Well, all that got compromised when consolidation came in. And my first question is, what are we going to do? What's the next farm team? Well, thank God, necessity being the mother of invention, we started having podcast, internet. This has exploded to where you have now all kinds of different topics. I mean, it's just awesome what's available on the internet. Now, and when you get into some of this stuff, in the political realm, I often say, with caution, that you need to understand who it is that you're getting your information from. Are they legitimate? Are they credible? Is it loaded up with opinion? Is there empirical evidence backing up what they're saying? For us, in our show, I mean, we bring on experts, PhDs, people who've had, 20, 30 years experience in their field. They're, best-selling authors, people that have a lot of intellect and expertise in a specific, a specific field. And we bring them on to update you. And also at the same time as we do that, it's a challenge to say, check it out for yourself. I mean, here's, smart guy. I mean, Steve Gorham, he's been around, he's been doing this. This guy's an expert in this field. Listen to him. But you don't necessarily have to buy him hook, line, and sinker. Okay. Hopefully you're motivated enough to say, Steve said something I didn't quite, I wasn't following before, but I'm going to check into it. And that's the responsible thing to do. I say that to my kids. You got to own your own knowledge. Don't just listen to a talking head or a TikTok celebrity or whatever and take their word for it. You're responsible. It's your knowledge. Why would you want to subordinate your brain to be in control of Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, God forbid? Okay. And of course, what we're realizing, and especially with this latest letter, if you haven't seen it, from Mark Zuckerberg, revealing to us, what we knew all along. They're finally admitting it. I mean, this thing is kind of like, it's like a Chinese torture test here. I mean, it's a drip at a time. Information is being dropped on our pumpkin heads, and no surprise, because we knew it was happening all along. We knew the FBI was putting pressure and influence on the social media oligarchs. And of course, they willfully went along. I mean, Zuckerberg kind of makes it sound like, oh, we were, hesitant and all that. Yeah, right. I don't buy that. I mean, they went into it. I mean, after all, it's the government, coming on them, and they saddled up to it, and they were all in the cabal of turning our country away from our constitutional principles. I mean, clearly, that's the bottom line. I mean, you may say, well, yes, they didn't want Donald Trump to get elected. But also, it's like, what's the bigger picture? Donald Trump is, that's just a stepping stone and a little bit of a hindrance to their master plan. Their master plan, as David Rubin said earlier this morning, is so that they would have full control and they would take over everything that is America. John Fleetwood has repeatedly talked about the World Economic Forum and the globalists who ultimately see a bigger plan. See, all this is converging. This is not happening, in a way that is accidental. This is all on purpose. Things that Joe Biden has done, to this country, Barack Obama before him, Kamala Harris and what she will do if she's elected president. It's all part of a plan, ladies and gentlemen. And I know it's hard to think that something like this is so diabolical, but you need to understand, because in order to overcome this resistance, some have said that, when we talked about a revolution, hoping maybe it could be an evolution, not necessarily a revolution, but you can't control that. When it's time for a change, and I can say this, that the left is not going to, drop their marbles and walk away easily. It's going to be a fight. I mean, for them right now, they see this upcoming election as important as the breath of life. That's the way they see it. Anyway, we've got more coming up. Stay with us.
September 11th is Patriot Day and a national day of service and remembrance. It's been more than 2 decades since the tragedy of September 11th, 2001. That day, Americans united across divides to do whatever they could to help. On September 11th, National Day of Service and Remembrance, Americans of all ages and backgrounds are invited to come together to honor the lives we lost through acts of service. Join us Wednesday, September 11th, as we pack meals, clean up neighborhoods, and recommit to being there for one another. You'll serve with neighbors and strangers alike to build bridges in your community. Kevin McDonnell, AmeriCorps alumnus.
In 2001, I was just 4 years old when I lost my father in the attack on the World Trade Center. That devastating loss changed me, but it also inspired me to help others in need through my service with AmeriCorps and now in my career. Over the years, I've seen firsthand how small efforts can affect great changes that impact the lives of those in need.
To find a local volunteer opportunity or to learn more, visit AmeriCorps.gov/9/11day. Sponsored by AmeriCorps.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back. But you're gonna love it, and you're gonna love the price. Internet for for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now. 800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. 800-699-0358. That's 800-699-0358.
You know, in these uncertain times of rising inflation and cost of living increases, how can we more than survive? This is why, after considering many gold sponsors, we decided to endorse and personally recommend to you the Genesis Gold Group. You're going to see for yourself that they're a partner that aligns with our biblical values of prudent stewardship. Investing in gold and silver through a gold IRA isn't just about wealth. It's about securing God's provision for our future. Genesis makes it easy to convert your 401k or IRA into a retirement account backed by physical precious metals like gold and silver. Their team has decades of experience helping folks like us preserve our hard-earned savings. That's why I would only trust Genesis Gold Group to help get you back on the gold standard. Call them today, 844-202-4252, for a free consultation. That's 844-202-4252, or go to the website goldwithbill.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-745-9090. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-745-9090. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-745-9090.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Okay, let's try and do it. Lips are moving, but you're not hearing my voice. So I was just working on my ventriloquisms. Forgive me. Good to have you back with us. Bill Martinez here, just about 14 minutes before the top of the hour. Craig Rucker going to be joining us here in just a second as soon as we can get him all technically connected with us. I have faith that we can make this happen here, because we've got some important topics to talk to him. We'll have about 12 minutes in which to do this. So anyway, Mr. Craig Rucker, as we stand by, I think I'm starting to see him here right now. Craig Rucker is in the house. Craig is the president and co-founder of the Committee for Constructive Tomorrow. Craig, welcome to the show. Good to have you with us.
Bill, it's great to be on, and I am sorry I had some technical issues here.
Well, that's the way it happened. When I was in broadcasting school, our kind of catch-all issue whenever we were troubleshooting with anything that had to do with the electronics, we would just say there was a knot in the cord.
I'm blaming Al Gore because he invented the internet. So it's
yeah, why not? Put it on him. It's just too bad we can't sue him.
Exactly.
But anyway, I wanted to address what you'd written about, and that is the Biden-Harris administration. They just cannot help themselves. They continue to double down on this green agenda farce, because after it's all said and done, and the trillions of dollars, Craig, that you and I have talked about that has been invested in green energy, I mean, it's like, what are we, stupid or what? I mean, we're not moving the needle any which way over this issue of man-made climate change.
No, they've been literally kind of a nightmare on this whole particular issue because, it's enough that they want to themselves transform America into some sort of Green New Deal economy. And they're talking to adults, but they're also going after children. You look at NASA's Climate Kids webpage, and you also have NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, pitching in. They are actually giving kids all sorts of disinformation on the state of the planet, creating anxiety among them that we're all going to perish in just a matter of a few years unless we curb our greenhouse emissions. And this has actually been so concerning that even Congressman Ted Cruz has written both the NASA administrator Bill Nelson and NOAA administrator Richard Spinnerd to try and take this information off because it's being used by teachers
Yes.
to go in and train kids, that the polar bears are all going to die and it's your parents' fault.
Yeah, we're back to that the crazy what was she? She's a Swedish gal. The that
Greta
was
Thunberg. Yes.
I mean, Greta, yes. I don't know why her name had escaped me. Maybe because I was just hoping I could put it away, forever. It's been a while since we've heard of her, but, they still find ways to bring this hysteria, but to attack the kids. The thing is so ironic about this, Craig, is that here these social media platforms are so sensitive about, protecting the safety of the community. And meanwhile, they get to pick and choose what kind of misinformation gets out there and what's acceptable. And look what they're doing. I mean, I'll tell you, at every turn, it's like, can we get them to leave our kids alone for a while? I mean, they attack our kids mentally, physically, spiritually, in every angle. And I just want to go and it's almost why I want to go there and start kicking butt. You know what I mean?
And I would agree because here's the interesting thing about this particular website and these initiatives by the Biden administration, Biden-Harris administration, is they say they're doing it for the children. And you go like, really? And I said, so what need are you meeting? They said, well, kids have anxiety about climate change. Well, you say, okay, they have anxiety about it. How did they get this anxiety? Well, they're being told that the end of the world is going to happen by people like AOC in 12, well, she said 12 years back in 2018. Now we only got 6 years left and you have the end of the world. Greta Thunberg, of course, said it would end by 2023. She actually posted a tweet about that. And of course, we're still here in 2024. And now they're putting up this website, which tells people things like New York City and our cities will be underwater. In fact, we had Antonio Guterres of the UN just today issue another climate emergency, saying that the flooding is such that particularly Pacific Islands will sink, when in fact we know nations like Tuvalu have actually increased in land mass over the last 20 years, not sank, and it has nothing to do with rising sea levels, which have been going on for centuries. It has to do with plate tectonics. But nevertheless, it's this sort of information that's getting out to kids, that's scaring the dickens out of them. And you got an administration there just pumping all sorts of money into brainwashing a bunch of Biden-Harris Green New Deal supporters who these will become future voters down the road.
Greg, it'd be interesting to note how many kids wake up every day fearful of climate change. I mean, we hear it anecdotally, and we hear it from these teachers that want us to believe that that's the case, but I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing any reports that, the kids are waking up screaming, hearing Al Gore talking about the earth is boiling and they're envisioning, a boiling earth. All these naysayers, all these, prophets of doom and gloom and, and climate change and there's all this hysteria. I mean, they need to be categorized in a proper category as just false prophets. There's nothing. I mean, in the old days when somebody came and made a prediction, I mean, if you're going to predict the world was going to end, people might pay attention for a year or two, and if it didn't happen, you just go into the trash heap of history of nonsense. But yet Al Gore is still making billions of dollars, and all these other climate geniuses have created an industry at the expense of the mental welfare, and it's bad enough they're doing it to adults, but now let's just go after the kids. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if there's ever been people that should be discredited, it's those who are shouting the apocalypse of climate change. You go back even to its early
But
days.
discrediting is not enough, Craig. This is the problem. It's almost libelous, because you just have to be responsible for these things. It's to me, it's like shouting fire in a crowded theater, right? I mean, because you are putting out a false warning.
Exactly. And it's not enough. I mean, there is actually libelous action because it's not enough that they're shouting the warning, but they're encouraging everybody to change their lifestyles, get rid of your internal combustion engine cars and go to electric vehicles. We need to gut our electricity that's been reliable and given us the highest standard of living in the world and go to unproven intermittent renewables like wind and solar power. They're telling us to change our diet when Americans are living longer and healthier lives than at any point in human history, and we need to eat insects.
Right.
On issue after issue, they are asking us to alter our lifestyle, teach our kids basically a bunch of lies, and it's something that they should be held accountable for more than just at the at the voting booth.
Exactly. Well, Craig, here everybody's predicting AI is coming, just across the horizon, and it's coming at Mach 5 speeds. And oh yeah, AI requires energy that that natural energy outlets, wind and solar cannot produce. It can't even meet the most minimal of requirement to be able to drive AI. If we do not have the driving mechanism, the energy to support AI, America is really going to be left in the dust here, is it not?
It is. And sadly, many of these companies, that are pushing the AI revolution are the very ones also pushing for renewables. One of the things I've worked on is to try to get them to change course on this. And nothing will make them change course more than if you tell them that their AI centers, which are energy hogs, have to actually run on solar and wind. And instead of pushing solar and wind on the rest of the ratepayers, let's say if you want to put up these factories, you have to run yours on solar and wind. They know they can't do that. They know that they need reliable and consistent energy from fossil fuels, from nuclear power, from hydropower, things that are proven winners. And so, it's unfortunate that they are bought them on fully on board this whole renewable energy thing, and they're pushing it on the rest of us while they themselves are making plans for backup power for themselves that it's traditional energy.
And meanwhile, as you and I talked last time, Craig, the EU is realizing what a farcical mess this is, and they're learning their lessons and moving forward. They're progressing. And meanwhile, the United States is stubbornly holding on to things that just do not deliver.
Exactly. And, we have Harris running for president right now to show you we haven't learned our lesson. She is campaigning, of course. I mean, one of her big successes was trying to turn our school buses to all electric. That was a big thing that she was in favor of. She hasn't really fully backtracked on her ban fracking thing, although she has made overtures that maybe she's re-examining that. But I would say that the only reason that she would even re-examine that is because she wants to win Pennsylvania. She picked a running mate in Walz who is absolutely on board the Green New Deal. His record is one that he has tried to convert the entire, especially metropolitan area of Minneapolis, into a shining example of a green city. And so I don't think they've learned a thing. They're beholden to the environmental extremists in their party, and they are going to take America backwards should they prevail in November.
Between the radical left, Muslims, and these green activists, the Democrat, it's no wonder that Bobby Kennedy said, hasta la vista, right?
Yeah, and even Bobby Kennedy has stepped back from offshore wind. He's actually re-examined some of his criticisms of climate skeptics and others in the past.
Exactly. Craig Rucker, the president and co-founder of the Committee for Constructive Tomorrow. Thank you, Craig. Take care. Have a great day.
Always a pleasure. Thanks.
2004. BBS Radio TV stands as a trailblazer in remotely engineered live radio broadcasts over the internet. We ignited the new media revolution, offering a powerful platform for vital voices and alternative perspectives that mainstream media often silences. Our live broadcasts stream on over 200 of the world's largest internet broadcast stations, with on-demand syndication across all major social networks. Visionary entrepreneurs Douglas and Donald Newsom have crafted over 100,000 radio and web TV episodes for more than 1,000 satisfied clients. Experience the pinnacle of web radio and TV engineering. Compare our unbeatable prices, exceptional services, and comprehensive offerings with any other professional provider, and you'll see why we're unparalleled in the industry. Call us at 888-710-8061.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-254-1421. 800-254-1421. 800-254-1421. That's 800-254-1421.
BBS Radio TV. If it's not mainstream, it's on BBS Radio TV. A place for answers.